A Mortal's Journey to Immortality Episode 275. In the previous episode, Han Li faced relentless attacks from two cunning heavenly tigers and a mysterious azure doppelganger that seemed immune to all his sword techniques. Despite his clever maneuvers and powerful flames, he found himself trapped in a stalemate, struggling to defend against attacks while trying to protect his allies. But everything changed when he revealed the Spirit Subjugation Talisman. With its power, Han Li summoned a massive crimson flood dragon, merging its essence with his own body and awakening a surge of spiritual might. Suddenly, his cultivation skyrocketed, and with newfound strength, he swiftly defeated the two heavenly tigers, turning the tide of the battle. The azure doppelganger recoiled, and even powerful adversaries like Tian Zhang began to take notice. At the end of the previous episode, a ruptured crimson barrier released a glacial mist, sending a silver streak spiraling toward Han Li, hinting that the fight was far from over. What will happen next? Stay tuned. And the story continues. The light faded away to reveal a beautiful white-clothed woman. She was the woman surnamed Bai, who seemed to have a past with Master Sunreach. As she expressionlessly glanced around in the air, her eyes finally fell upon Han Li and Feng Bing, causing her expression to stir ever so slightly. Her sudden presence caused Tian Zhang, who had been hovering above the battlefield, to pause unconsciously, his face betraying a moment of hesitation. Feng Bing, seeing cultivator Bai break out from the blood barrier, shouted with renewed energy and hope, "Fellow Taoist Bai, you've arrived at the perfect moment. This is the fourth Moulan Divine Sage. Quickly help me restrain him so fellow Taoist Han can free the others." Cultivator Bai's icy gaze swept over Tian Zhang, her voice cutting like a blade. "The fourth Divine Sage? So you were behind this trick as well?" Tian Zhang did not respond directly to her accusation. Instead, he muttered to himself, almost in admiration and slight exasperation, "I didn't think that apart from that youngster, anyone else could break through the blood barrier. The yin-sifting sect truly is unreliable." Ignoring her question only fueled cultivator Bai's anger. Her complexion paled, and her hands formed a complex incantation seal. White mist gathered into a dense, blinding cloud around her and surged forward with tremendous force. Feng Bing, seizing the moment, pointed to the fire spirit bottle and unleashed an attack from the opposite direction. Han Li's mind was clear. He knew that while he could destroy the azure doppelganger with the Spirit Subjugation Talisman, the greater priority was freeing the trapped cultivators, crucial for maintaining momentum in the war. Spreading his wings, he appeared near another blood barrier, summoning a lightning bead into his hand with precise, fluid movements. "Be careful, Master." A sudden voice echoed in his mind, causing his heart to skip a beat. It was Silvermoon, appearing just in time. Reacting instantly, Han Li hurled the lightning bead at the blood barrier. It blazed a trail of fierce azure light, but at the same moment, a head-sized ball of azure flames intercepted his attack. The flames engulfed the lightning bead, twisting and flickering until it transformed into a small, foot-long azure firebird, hovering calmly in the air. Han Li's expression hardened. He formed a hand seal and detonated the lightning bead within the firebird's body. Yet the creature remained largely unharmed, only slightly swollen and swaying under the explosion. Its lifelike eyes locked on him with quiet defiance, sending a shiver down his spine. Looking up, Han Li saw more azure fireballs descending from the direction of the Moulan sacred bird. As they approached the crimson barriers, each transformed into a firebird, circling the blood barriers with purpose. Yet without attacking him, it became clear that these creatures were linked to the sacred bird itself. Likely formed from the lantern flames, strengthened by the lightning bead he had just thrown. Not far from the sacred bird, spell warrior La coldly observed Han Li, their gazes meeting for a brief, tense moment. Han Li's anger grew as he recognized the connection between her and the sacred bird. Beside her, 9 ancient lanterns floated, their flames blazing brightly, adding another layer of complexity to the battlefield. At that moment, Silvermoon appeared beside Han Li in a flash of white light, her tone apologetic. "Master, forgive me for being of no help during your previous battle. The heavenly tigers were far too intelligent. I could not have intervened without risking detection. Han Li shook his head, calming himself. Enough. You have done all you could. Take these 2 lightning beads and see if you can sneak past the firebirds to rescue the cultivators inside. Even freeing just one will make a difference. Silvermoon bowed respectfully and vanished in a flash of white light, ready to carry out her mission. Han Li then turned his attention to Tian Zhang. Scarlet flames and icy white mist intertwined violently, while rainbow-colored light flashed intermittently from within the chaotic struggle. The Azure doppelganger's location remained unknown, whether it still fought from within him or had withdrawn, leaving uncertainty hanging over the battlefield. Han Li's focus shifted to the tensome azure firebirds encircling him. Raising both hands, he summoned the blue light shield, forming a hand incantation to enlarge it, while another lightning bead began to coalesce in his palm. Thunder claps resonated behind him as he blurred into the air, 40 meters above the ground. Yet the firebirds all shot toward him in a synchronized attack, enveloping him in a shroud of azure flame. From a distance, Long Han observed the scene with growing frustration. He had hoped Han Li could free the trapped cultivators and regain an advantage for their side. But seeing the sacred bird send out its firebirds to overwhelm him, Long Han's expression darkened. The 7 Great Truths cultivators struggled desperately to contain the azure demonfire. Although they possessed formidable power, the sacred bird's abilities, combined with late nascent soul cultivation and deity transformation techniques, left them on the verge of collapse. Seeing no other option, Long Han decided to deploy his final secret weapon. Release the Yin Yang Devils. They are to deal with the ancient flames. They should not concern themselves with killing. A harmonious bond sect cultivator immediately carried out the command. From this, 2 ominous coffins, one black and one white, materialized in the air. 16 sect disciples encircled them, chanting incantations and striking spell seals against the coffins. The talismans on top trembled violently, as if something alive struggled within. With the removal of the final talismans, the coffins exploded in a nauseating cloud of fishy scent. 2 vague silhouettes, one black and one white, shot out and vanished in opposite directions. The slowest disciples could not evade them. Taoist-shaped figures pounced, tearing out their throats and consuming their blood essence. Witnessing this, the other disciples sighed with relief. Understanding the devils would not feed indiscriminately, the cultivators from other sects, however, could not hide their shock. An old man with draped hair calmly stepped forward, ensuring that the devils would now follow orders. Holding 2 green bronze plates engraved with talisman characters, he sent streaks of gray light into the foreheads of the Yin Yang Corpse Devils. The once early nascent soul cultivators, who had betrayed their sect and been transformed into living corpses through a forbidden technique, trembled under the spiritual power flowing into them. Slowly, they rose stiffly and flew to the front of the army. Their true forms revealed. They looked like a young man and woman, delicate and elegant, yet their eyes were completely lifeless. The lingering blood at the corners of their mouths and the subtle, indescribable stench of decay set them apart from ordinary cultivators, giving off an aura of terrifying presence. The old man poured additional spiritual power into the plates, chanting swiftly as beams of light shot into the foreheads of the Yin Yang Corpse Devils. A radiant light suddenly shined from the 2 corpse devils' eyes. The old man with draped hair put away the bronze plates and pointed to the huge azure bird, commanding, "Go." In this episode, we saw the white-clothed woman surnamed Bai arrive at the battlefield just in time, confronting the 4th Moulan Divine Sage and assisting Han Li and Feng Bing in their struggle to free the trapped cultivators. Han Li faced formidable challenges from the azure firebirds linked to the sacred bird, testing his strategy, power, and quick thinking. Meanwhile, Long Han unleashed the Yin Yang Corpse Devils, terrifying beings with lifeless eyes and incredible strength, who were brought under control to fight the ancient flames. The episode highlighted intense battles, unexpected allies, and the high stakes of the war, setting the stage for even greater confrontations ahead. What happens next? Stay tuned for the next episode of Immortal's Journey to Immortality. If you enjoyed this episode or found it exciting, Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to receive notifications for the latest episodes in Han Li's journey. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.